This is part 37 of Bootstrap tutorial. In this video, we'll discuss the Bootstrap Collapse plugin. The Collapse plugin is used to show and hide another element on the page. So here is what we want to do. At the moment, we've got a button and an image gallery. When we click this toggle image gallery button, if the image gallery is already expanded, it should collapse it. If it's already collapsed, then it should expand it. Let's see how to achieve this. Let's flip to Visual Studio. So within this div row, I'm going to paste some HTML. In part 7 of this video series, we have discussed image gallery, and I've copied this code from there. So if we save this and when we reload our page, we get 3 image thumbnails. When we click on an image, it takes us to the original image. Now, we discussed this in part 7 in detail, so I'm not going to go over this HTML. If you need explanation of the image gallery code, please check part 7 of this video series. Now, in addition to the image gallery, we also want this toggle image gallery button. To get this button, I'm going to use an anchor element. And we want this anchor element to be rendered as a button, so I'm going to use btn and btn primary classes. And for now, let's make the href attribute point to hash. The text on the button is going to be toggle image gallery. Let's save our changes, and when we reload this page, notice the button doesn't appear how we want it to. So we are going to move this image gallery into a panel body and the button into a panel header. So for that, first let's create a panel. To create a panel, we create a div element with class panel, and let's apply panel default class as well. And inside the panel, let's create a panel heading by creating a div element with class panel heading. Let's move this anchor element inside panel heading. And now let's create panel body. To create panel body, we create a div element with class panel body. And now let's move all these 3 image gallery divs into panel body. So let's cut all of them from here and place them inside panel body. Let's save our changes and reload this page. So notice the button is present in the header and the image gallery is present in the panel body. At the moment when we click this button, notice nothing happens. Now let's see how to toggle this image gallery using the Collapse plugin provided by Bootstrap. Now I'm going to give this panel body div an ID. Let's call it image gallery, and then I'm going to make this href attribute point to that element, and we're going to use the jQuery ID selector hash. And now in addition to this, we are going to use data dash toggle attribute, and data dash toggle attribute value is going to be collapse. So this does the magic. Let's save our changes and let's reload this page. Now look at this. The first time it doesn't work properly. Notice at the moment the image gallery is already expanded. When I click this button, look at that. It collapses and immediately expands it again. And from the second time onwards, it works correctly. Look at that. At the moment it is expanded. When we click on this, it gets collapsed. When I click on it again, it expands. Click on it, collapses, expands. But the first time it's not working. Now there's a way to fix this. Now when you initially load this page, if you want this image gallery to be expanded, then use 2 classes on this div element that has this panel body class. In addition to that class, we are going to use collapse and in classes. So when we do this, when we load the page initially, notice the image gallery is expanded, and look at this, it's going to work first time properly. When I click on this button, look at that, it collapses. We click on it again, it expands. So right from the first time, it works as expected. Now if you want the image gallery to be collapsed on the initial page load, then only use collapse class and not the in class. So now when we reload the page, look at that, the image gallery is collapsed. When we click on it the first time, it expands. When we click on it again, it collapses. Now you might be wondering, how do I know I have to use these collapse and in classes? Well, you can inspect the image gallery in Google Chrome, and you'll get to know what classes are dynamically applied when it is collapsed and expanded. Let's actually look at that in action. So let's expand this, and I'm going to right click on this one and select inspect from the context menu, which is going to launch the browser developer tools. So notice at the moment the classes that are applied, on the development that has got panel body class, it has applied collapse and in classes. Look at this, when we hide it, only collapse class is applied. When we expand it, both collapse and in classes are applied. At the moment, the trigger element here is an anchor element. Now, instead of using an anchor element, we can also use a button element as the trigger element. So let's use a button. So instead of an anchor element, we are using button. But button element does not have the href attribute. Instead of that, we use data dash target attribute. Let's reload this page, and it should continue to work exactly the same way as before. Notice initially when the page loads, it's collapsed, and when we click this button, it expands. When we click on it again, it collapses. Next, let's discuss expanding and collapsing the image gallery manually using the collapse function. At the moment, we are relying on these data dash attributes to expand and collapse the image gallery. Instead of using data dash attributes, we can use the collapse function directly provided by the collapse plugin. And here are the three parameter values that can be passed to the collapse function: toggle, show, and hide. Toggle toggles a collapsible element, show shows a collapsible element, and hide hides a collapsible element. And here is what we want to do. In addition to the toggle image gallery button, we want hide image gallery and show image gallery buttons as well. Now, when we click this toggle image gallery button, we want the image gallery to be toggled, hide button should hide it, and show button should show it. Now, instead of using data dash attributes, we want to use the collapse function directly provided by the collapse plugin. So the first thing that we are going to do is delete these data dash attributes from the button, and instead of that, I am going to use an ID. Let's call this button toggle button. And we want two more buttons as well. Let's make two more copies of this, and let's call this button hide button, and let's call this button show button. And now we are going to write a bit of JavaScript. So let's scroll all the way down and then write some jQuery code. So just after the script tags and just before the closing body tag, I'm going to use another script element. Type equals text slash JavaScript, and we are going to write our jQuery code right here. So dollar document dot ready function. If you're new to jQuery, we have a tutorial on jQuery as well, so please check that playlist. So what we want to do is hook up an event handler to the toggle button. So the ID of the button is toggle button. So let's use the jQuery ID selector, which is hash find the button and then wire up the click event handler. So when we click the button, we want to execute a function. And what do we want to do? We want to call the collapse function directly. So we want, either collapse or expand, this development which contains our image gallery, and it has got an ID, and that is image gallery. So let's again use the ID selector, find the image gallery, and on this let's call the collapse function, and to this function we are going to pass toggle as the parameter value. Let's do similar kind of a thing with the other buttons. So to the hide button, we want to associate a click handler. So the ID of the hide button is hide button, And when we click the hide button, we just want to hide the image gallery, so the parameter value is going to be hide. Similarly, when show button is clicked, we want to call the collapse function and pass it show as the value for the parameter. So let's save our changes and reload this page, and it should still continue to work exactly the same way. Look at this, when we click toggle image gallery, since it's already collapsed, it expands it and it's collapsed now. And at the moment we don't have the image gallery, so we need to change the text on these buttons. So let's go ahead and do that. So on the first button it's going to be, on the second button it's going to be hide image gallery, and on the last button it is going to be show image gallery. Let's reload this page. Toggle image gallery, it continues to work exactly the same way as before. Hide image gallery, show image gallery. So everything is working as expected. At the moment, instead of using data-attributes, we are using the collapse function provided by the collapse plugin. Finally, let's discuss the events raised by the collapse plugin. So here are the 4 events raised by the collapse plugin: 2 for show and 2 for hiding. Show.bs.collapse, this is fired immediately when the show method is called. Shown.bs.collapse, this is fired when a collapsible element has been made visible to the user. Similarly, hide.bs.collapse, this is fired immediately when the hide method is called. And hidden.bs.collapse, this is fired when a collapsible element has been hidden from the user. Let's handle all these 4 events. So let's flip to Visual Studio now. And let's use the jQuery ID selector, find the image gallery. So the ID of the image gallery is image gallery. And first, let's handle show.bs.collapse. So when is this event raised? This event is raised immediately after the show method is called. So when that event is raised, we want to handle it and execute the code that is going to be present inside this anonymous function. So what do we want to do? We simply want to alert a message. And since this show.bs.collapse method is called immediately after the show method is called, that's the time when the image gallery is about to be expanded. So that's what is the message we will alert. So we will simply say image gallery is about to be expanded. Let's make a copy of this one and also handle shown.bs.collapse. So this is called after the image gallery has been completely expanded. So we are going to say image gallery expanded. Now let's make another copy, and now let's handle hide.bs.collapse. This event is raised immediately when the hide method is called. So image gallery is about to be hidden. And let's handle the other hide event, which is hidden.bs.collapse. This event is raised when the image gallery is completely hidden. So the message is going to be image gallery hidden. Let's save our changes and reload our page, and look at this. When we click this toggle image gallery button, at the moment it's collapsed, it's hidden, so it's going to show it when the image gallery is to be displayed. These are the 2 events raised: show immediately when the show method is called, and shown, this event is raised after the image gallery has been completely expanded. Look at this. When I click this, first we get a message, image gallery is about to be expanded. When we click OK, the image gallery expands, and then we get this message, image gallery expanded. Now when we click on the toggle image gallery button again, it's going to hide it, and the 2 respective hide events will be raised. And since we are handling them, we should get the respective messages. Look at that, image gallery is about to be hidden, and when I click OK, the image gallery will be hidden, and we get the message, image gallery hidden. And when we click even these 2 buttons, this is going to handle the 2 hide events. So the image gallery is already hidden, so nothing is going to happen. But when we click show image gallery, look at that, image gallery is about to be expanded. Click OK, image gallery expands, and we see the message, Now when we click hide image gallery is about to be hidden. Click OK, and again we get this image gallery hidden. Thank you for listening and have a great day.